Hello beautiful souls, I'm having an amazing day. An amazing day, yes. I went for a run in the morning and now I choose to do a video. I want to talk about my experience with the dark night of the soul. Okay, so what is the dark night of the soul? The dark night of the soul is a concept and an experience that spiritual people or spiritual who are in the spiritual awakening process choose at a soul level to go through. And I'm not sure if it's everybody who goes through a dark night of the soul, but it's a choice that we make at a soul level in order to get rid of our darkness, in order to learn from our darkness, and in order to question our darkness. Okay, so I began to awaken back in 2014. I think it was October. And the awakening experience was amazing. I was becoming more authentic. I realized that reality can shift the moment that I shift. I realized that I have this capability of having a lot of energy and I perceive the world in a different way. So my awakening experience has shifted me in all kinds of beautiful ways. And I realized that in the awakening process, it's not always about being positive. Okay, so it's not all about light and love. It's also about facing your own darkness. It's also about questioning yourself. It's also about moving towards what you want to create and be loving and be kind. Okay, so my dark night of the soul happened after 1 year since my spiritual awakening has happened. And the thing is that I didn't really know what was going on because I have experienced this big shift in consciousness and everything was actually perfect until that moment. And that moment hit me like it was something big. I remember I was going to college and I was starting to lose my energies. I was starting to experience let's call it a negative version of myself. I was losing my energy. I didn't really know what was going on. So if you are experiencing the dark night of the soul, the first thing to realize and the first thing to go for is to actually become aware that it is happening, okay? Because I didn't really know what was going on and I really got into trouble. Because I didn't question my thoughts and I was only acting from a lower vibrational level of consciousness. Okay, so the dark night of the soul is not really fun. The dark night of the soul is not fun because you realize that like a month ago I had a beautiful journey, I had a beautiful life, and now this dark thing has hit me. What the fuck is going on? What the hell is going on? How am I going to survive this? And what I want you guys to do while you're experiencing the dark night of the soul is to question yourself. Okay, why am I experiencing this? What is this trying to teach me? How should I act in order to not avoid the negative, but in order to accept the negative and really take control of myself? Okay, because in my dark night of the soul, I felt that I had control at some level, but at the same time I didn't have control and I was acting in a way that hurt other people, and I'm sorry for this. I'm sorry for hurting my family, for hurting my friends, for not knowing what really was going on. Okay, so I realized that after some time, and I was still low after experiencing my dark night of the soul, I was even hospitalized because of it. And after some time I realized that okay, I can go out of it. I can question myself. I can begin to let go and relax. I can begin to love myself. I can begin to accept myself as I am. And I need to question my thoughts, okay? Because in the dark night of the soul is like the subconscious mind and everything that you have repressed comes out to the surface. It wants to be felt by your body. It wants to be felt even by your higher self. It wants to be felt because in a way you have chosen this experience at a soul level. Okay, so you have chosen to suffer in order to see the light. okay? Because the moment that we want to see the light, we have to also accept the other side, okay? We have to go beyond duality. We have to really question ourselves. Okay, so my dark night of the soul was a rough experience. And how do you get out of the dark night of the soul? You begin to let go. Okay, you begin to let go, and you begin to actually take a break. You need to take a break while you are in the dark night of the soul. And the experience is very dark. For me, at least, it was very dark. And it was, in a way, even evil. But I begin to see my pure self out of it. I begin to see my real self out of it. I begin to question myself. Am I really this kind of person? And it is nothing to judge about the dark night of the soul. It is nothing to judge. You have to love yourself to that process. And actually, in that process, you actually learn to love yourself. That is because the dark night of the soul, from the bird's eye view, is a positive experience. It's a positive experience, and your soul needs it. Okay, your soul has chosen it in order for you to become wider, wiser, and actually question your existence. Okay, the dark night of the soul is a spiritual crisis. Okay, so people who are into spirituality, people who awaken to a new self, are experiencing this kind of experiences, and there is nothing wrong with you. Okay, many people have called me crazy, and even I thought at some moment that I was going crazy. That is a natural process of thought to feel. You are feeling that kind of thought. You are feeling that you are going crazy. Okay, and again, realize that there is nothing wrong with you. You have chosen this in order to see the bigger self, in order to see the bigger you, in order to accept a new version of yourself. Okay, so the dark night of the soul is rough, and I think it's rough for everybody. And from my experience, I wouldn't wish anybody to experience what I have experienced. I wouldn't wish anybody to go through what I was going through. So it was like a spiritual death. It was like an ego death. Even though my ego was still running after I was experiencing it. And in a way, it is still happening right now, that dark night of the soul. I'm still experiencing the symptoms of it, even right now. But in a way, because I have questioned myself, because I have chosen love, I can begin to experience that I am going out of the dark side. I'm letting go of the dark energy, and I'm beginning to embrace more love. I'm beginning to embrace a wider perspective of myself, a wider version of myself. Okay, so if you're going through the dark night of the soul, remember these things. Question yourself. Let love guide you, not fear. Accept how you feel, and be responsible. And also choose to relax. Relax in it. It is a dark cycle, because life happens in cycles. There are positive cycles and there are dark cycles. Okay, realize and become conscious that maybe you have chosen this experience, and it is really hard to become aware of your darkness. It is really hard to trust when you are in that moment of time, when you are experiencing the dark night of the soul. It is really hard to trust, but you gain a perspective of your higher self out of it. Okay, so you are growing a lot. It is something beneficial for your spiritual process. It really is something beneficial for your spiritual process. And again, it is a soul choice. Okay, whatever you are experiencing, it is because you have chosen it or you have created it at some level. Okay, thank you for watching. This was I didn't really go into details about my dark night of the souls, because I wanted to keep it simple. And realize that you are powerful going through that process. You are brave because you have chosen that process. You really are brave, and you are really getting to be more powerful out of it. It's like life-changing, okay? But patience will lead you to where you need to go. Okay guys, thank you for watching. This was my video about the dark night of the soul. This is what I have experienced. It was traumatic, it was dark, it was even evil, but it was who I was, and I love the most that version of myself that has experienced that dark night of the soul. Okay, stay connected, please subscribe, leave a comment maybe, and let me know if you are going through the dark night of the soul. I might give you some tips that might help you. Okay, so stay connected, and if you're going through the dark night of the soul, remember, take a break, love yourself, question yourself, and realize that there is a way out to light, and that way is reflected by patience. Okay, so have patience, stay with that darkness, stay with it, love it, and have compassion for yourself, love yourself. Okay, thank you for watching, and see you on the next video. Ciao.